Hey there guys, it's Grant from Run, and today we're here at New Balance head office with New Balance key account manager Zeke Snyman. And today we're going to be looking at some of the product updates and new models coming for 2022.
1080 is very much our premium cushioned pinnacle shoe in the Fresh Foam range. It's in its 12th version. There's a lot of heritage behind the 1080 model, and we're very, very excited about the new version. I think we've done some amazing things here since version 10 and 11 moved into Fresh Foam X. Some of the key things we've tried to achieve from this model is lightening the shoe. So what we've done here is we kept the stack out the same, but we've compressed the midsole a bit just to help with the lighting, and we're using a recyclable mesh, a recyclable upper.
Absolutely. So I mean, green is obviously important. We need to worry about the environment.
Yeah, very much. And what we've done different to a lot of our competitors, we've put the green leaf program, our green leaf program, into probably one of our biggest volume shoes. So we're trying to make the dent in a wide distribution.
In the commercial area.
So we're using recyclable material in the upper, this beautiful new kind of flex knit upper, which I think a lot of consumers are going to kind of resonate with. And then in the midsole, we just lightened it up. We put in some new geometry lines to help with the flexibility of the midsole and the cushioning. So really going to offer a really premium plush ride.
Fantastic. And a key thing for us, obviously, back to what looks like a more traditional heel counter, which is something we've given feedback on as well.
Yeah, I think, and that's great. You know, our specialty drive as much feedback, and we send it off to R&D. And the big feedback since version 10.11 with the ultra heel was it resonates with some runners, but with some of the runners, you know, who may have caught their Achilles a little differently. Other runners liked it, some didn't. So what we did is we've used the inspiration there, the evolution of that, and taken a blended into a more traditional cushioning, but keeping the elements the same.
Fantastic. It looks like a tremendous update from really one of our biggest sellers in the store, a fan favorite. And again, will this be available in your different width fittings as always?
It's very much so. We're going to continue on a dual width program here, standard and wide.
Fantastic.
Very exciting. And it's expected to hit our market in April.
Fantastic. Awesome. Cool. So next I want to look at probably our biggest selling single New Balance shoe. We call it the crowd favorite or the fan favorite. It's got to be the 880. Again, this has been one of our stable favorites. It's one of the go-to shoes, and it looks like there's some tremendous updates in this model.
Yeah, very much so. This is very exciting to see what's happening in the 880 space. As you say, this has been the go-to workhorse for South Africans in New Balance for years now. Yeah. We're also, strangely enough, in the 12th iteration of it. And next to 1080, I mean, trying to update two models in the same year is tough, and then keeping the consumer experience different.
Absolutely.
But what's really exciting here is there's been a lot of learnings from Fresh Foam when we moved off the dual compound previously, and over versions 10 and 11 they've taken a lot of learnings, and what we're doing is we're actually returning to a dual density midsole, which is a big shift away from what we've done for two seasons, but the history suggests it's the right direction for the shoe.
Fantastic.
So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to soften up the Fresh Foam top bed, so it's going to just have a nice softer step and feel, more comfort. But what we're doing is we're adding a mid to 4 foot layer of EVA just to help to structure the shoe, offer a bit of stability in that neutral ride, but also give more energy in the toe.
Fantastic. So a nice more propulsive run as well from your daily workhorse shoe.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen here is the consumer's going to get a little bit more energy return out of his workhorse shoe, which I think is going to add a lot of value to the run. We're going to continue with a bit of geometry lines and flex grooves, helping with flexibility, and the 880 will remain in a double jackpot mesh upper. We do find that there are different runners wanting and preferring a mesh versus a knit upper, and we're going to just keep the consistency there.
Zeke, so yeah, I've got a question for you. It's something we get asked regularly, and obviously we know, but how does New Balance see the 880 and the 1080 differentiating? Because the two shoes, on paper at least, or to the untrained eye, might look very, very similar. So where does New Balance as a brand see the two shoes differ?
I think that's a great question. I think there are a lot of retailers and specialists who have struggled with that, especially in versions 10 and 11 when they've both been on Fresh Foam X.
Yeah.
I think the updates to the shoe with the lightened 1080, a bit more compressed midsole, and the 880 receiving an EVA 4 foot thing will differentiate it for the customer. First and foremost, the 1080 the goal here is to have a more flexible cushion ride.
Absolutely. And I mean,
we
you can see
get that
that
out of the midsole coverage and the geometry lines, whereas your 1080 is lighter. Your 880 has a much wider outsole coverage, as you can see here, for durability and structure, and we've got the mesh upper versus the knit upper, which is definitely going to offer a completely different in-foot running experience.
Absolutely. So yeah, you're more energetic sort of run, and you're more sturdy sort of walk.
Very much. Still our most premium ride.
Absolutely.
With 1080 really catering for that traditional royalist who just knows what he wants and come back for more.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So I mean, those are some really incredible updates to the road selection on New Balance. And now we're going to look at the 860, which is your stability shoe.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for that. This is probably the most anticipated shoe in the market, not because of an update, but because of supply chain. I think hats off to all the brands and suppliers out there who are juggling supply chain at the moment. And
It's a real challenge.
and to our specialist partners who are working inside a really difficult time. So first and foremost, the biggest change here comes in the upper of the shoe. We've still got the dual density midsole with fresh on top bed for the step-in beautiful feel and for that plush ride on top. But it's the mesh upper. We're moving away from a more of an old synthetic mesh to an engineered jack-on mesh upper with some trace fiber stitching here, just offering some mid to 4 foot upper kind of stability and structure, which is, I think, a great one. But probably most importantly that we see in 1080 is the movement away from the adapt heel. Again, struck some runners well, received some people were getting Achilles kind of irritations. Didn't detract from the functionality of the shoe, but you either liked it or you didn't. So again, we used that inspiration of what Ultra Adaptive was trying to achieve, but returning and marrying up traditional with that.
Absolutely.
So it's an evolution of, and we feel the consumer's really going to resonate to this new model.
And here is a shoe that we have been eagerly anticipated. I mean, trail has been exploding lately. It's always a big portion of our business at Run, but the Euro has been a fan favorite and it's been one of our go-to shoes. And you guys have come back with a terrific update. So let's talk about the new Fresh Foam Hero.
Yeah, I think it's like hen's teeth at the moment trying to find a trail shoe in the market. So anyone who's got it is going to do well. Very excited about this. Unfortunately, Global have delayed it, so it's only looking at probably a June entry.
Yeah.
We are hoping that it arrives a little earlier, but it's expected in stores by June. Version 7, believe it or not, I think I remember V2 when it was yesterday, but V7 is going kind of in line with 1080. 1080 consumers can easily transition into a hero for off-road. They're kind of like for like. So what we're trying to achieve there is the same thing we did with 1080. Lightening the shoe by putting volume into the midsole by compressing it.
Yeah.
The stacks and the drops are equal, and we've reduced the weight of the outsole, the Vibram outsole, by reducing the lugs by 20%, which is really exciting. Increasing the length to 4.5 mils.
So more traction, but less lug.
100%. And most importantly, one is, which will be detailed later with hopefully when we zoom in here, is there's some micro traction lugs on top of the lugs in a reverse kind of lug system, which will help you with climbing and descending.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I must say is a first for me, especially on a commercial shoe like that. There might be some specialist climbing shoes out there with that kind of technology, but I haven't seen that in the mass market yet.
Very much looking forward. And then additionally to this, to assist in the weight reduction, is we continue that Green Leaf program with our premium trail shoe using recyclable material in the upper again, just to help lighten the shoe. So we do expect this to really to continue offering that underfoot cushioned experience, but just with a lighter feel.
Fantastic.
I think quickly, if you don't mind, I just want to touch base on the Fresh Foam Bongo. Very much new to the range, launched last year. It's in selected stores at the moment. I know you guys do house it. Very much Fresh Foam's evolution of stability.
So I was going to say, because I mean, Fresh Foam is obviously a very cushy, very plush, very marshmallowy sort of technology that really gives you that cushioned sort of ride. How sort of engineered the stability into a shoe, which is traditionally very, very soft and flexible?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. Whereas 1080 offers that neutral runner exactly that. the Bongo now becomes the the brother or sister of the 1080 for the stability consumers. So if you guys find that the 1080 may be not offering the stability or the structure that the runner needs, they can easily transition into Bongo. It's built on the same premise, the same platform of 8mm drop, same stack height. What we've done differently with the ability of Fresh Foam X, the Fresh Foam X compound being very molecule driven, we can condense different areas of the shoe to offer a bit more kind of stability, a bit firmer than. And what we've done here is in a normal traditional shoe, you'll have a block, a medial block, or beveled medial base. What we've done here is we've compressed that medial side, so we packed more in.
So again, it's more material that's just been squashed or squished in to firm up that side, as opposed to adding a second material.
100%, and molded it into the midsole, so you don't have that piece going in. It's still a single,
which will give you that smoother ride and that smoother transition, but while still offering this.
And then in the upper, not dissimilar to the 860, we're using a similar mesh with a similar trace fiber knit, just for that structure.
And locking that foot down.
So I do feel that the traditional runner may still resonate with the 860, but the 1080 consumer or someone who really loves fresh foam
and that plushness
can quite comfortably find a home with the Bongo. Currently only available in wide, and will remain there until we get a bit more volume on that.
Excellent. Guys, Zeke, thank you very much. Thank you to New Balance. Thank you for housing us here. Thank you for giving us a preview, and our consumers, our customers, a preview of some of the exciting updates and some of the interesting things to come in the 2022 season.
Absolutely.
So really looking forward to that.
Thanks for the support.
No, always.
Cheers.